Have you ever looked up into the skies at night? The endlessness, the blackness, the void that rests above us. Our heavens, peppered with stars and little lights. And if you have, did you ever think that maybe something out there somewhere might be looking back? We now know that in the early years of this century, our world was being watched closely by intelligences greater than man's, but yet as mortal as his own. We now know that as human beings busied themselves about their various concerns, they were scrutinized and studied, perhaps almost as narrowly as a man with a microscope might scrutinize and study the creatures that swarm and multiply in a drop of water. With infinite complacence, people went to and fro over the earth about their little affairs, serene in the assurance of their dominion over this small spinning fragment of solar driftwood, which by chance or design man had inherited out of the dark mysteries of time and space, yet across an immense ethereal gulf, minds that to our minds are as to beasts in the jungle, intellects vast, cool, calculating and unsympathetic, regarded this earth with envious eyes, and they slowly and they surely drew their plans against us. It was nearing the end of the year, a cold winter. The ground was especially hard this season, and the skies were gray. Except on the day of December 26th, it was nice. The sun decided to show itself and warm the houses through the windows. A fine day to follow up what had been a nice Christmas. No one had expected such an extraordinary event. Beginning near a small New England town, these few extraordinary records were found and put together in as close to chronological order as could be attained. While so many of the details remain hazy, these personal records, radio broadcasts, and string of first-hand events from these few people on all sides of the globe paint a stirring recollection of the events that started on a rather quiet day.
Alright everybody, hello ladies and gentlemen on this fine New England morning. I hope everybody had a great Christmas. I know I did. But I gotta read some weather for you. So, not much going on today. Not much going on. It's clear as a bell. No wind. No rain. No nothing. Perfect. Good day. Go out and enjoy the sun. There's no gray today like this gray that's been lingering over us the past few weeks. So go out and enjoy it, everybody. Now, I know they say Christmas is over, but I'm still feeling the season in me, so I hope you don't mind. I'm going to be playing some Christmas tunes this morning. And we'll catch you back after the break. Thank you. Breaking news, everybody. Perhaps this might be a late Christmas miracle, but it appears as though a rock fell from space. Yes, that's right, you heard it. A rock fell from space near Grover's Mill. It registered a seismic shock, they say. Now, I don't have the exact details at the moment, but once we do, we'll get right back to you. Until then, enjoy the music. Alright everybody, I apologize once again. But this just in, the piece of paper says a slight atmospheric disturbance of undetermined origin is reported over Nova Scotia. And at 20 minutes before 8 o'clock Central Time, Professor Farrell of the Mount Jennings Observatory, Chicago, Illinois, came back with images of the meteor falling from the sky. He said, quotes, "Although an unusual event, it is definitely not unheard of. And to thank our lucky stars, I'm not quite sure if that was intended as a bit of humor or not, but to thank our lucky stars that it landed, in a rather desolate area. We will now return you to the last few seconds of this timeless Bach piece, and then take you to our on-site reporter, Carl Phillips, who is en route to location of our new Skyrock. Thank you, everybody. And now we take you to field reporter Carl Phillips.
Here we are en route to the crash site in our mobile studio with the esteemed astronomer, Dr. Pearson. If I may ask you some questions, Dr. Pearson?
Of course, Mr. Phillips, at any time.
What do you make of the seismic readings reported in correlation with the found object?
Yes, well, our rock that fell from the sky struck the ground with such force that it caused these rather large seismic readings.
Now, this happens all the time, correct?
In fact, yes, but this one seems a little different.
How so, Doctor?
Well, the fellow at Chicago saw it as it entered the atmosphere, but it wasn't picked up on instruments. It wasn't registered, so it's a bit strange. Usually when something falls in the atmosphere, we know immediately.
So, this one just slipped by then?
Yes, which makes it all the stranger. You see, an object that caused the seismic readings of this size when it crashed must be of a huge mass. We would have seen it. We would have picked something up that large on radar.
So, this is indeed a unique event.
Yes, I'd say so. But there's no reason to be startled as I imagine people could get. The Earth's atmosphere did its job and protected us well enough. After all, we're still here, aren't we?
Yes, I believe so. Well, alrighty. Everybody, we have to break now. We'll be back in a moment.
Thank you, Carl Phillips and Dr. Pearson. And there you have it, everybody. Nothing to be alarmed about. Now, already such a busy morning. Man, day after Christmas, people shouldn't have this hustle-bustle going on. But interesting news it is. I'm still feeling a little bit like Christmas. Hopefully this next song will get mishmashed in the onslaught of news. Hope everybody enjoys, and maybe the rest of the day will quiet down a little bit. I can't imagine it getting much more exciting than this.
But these events were not isolated. As about to be heard on this next tape, found overseas in Russia, a different perspective on very similar events that were just starting to unfold in America.
As I hear the swells of town outside hazarding the town to vacate, I harry my few most valued possessions of a life I once had into my rucksack. Rumor from passerby has it that something fell from the heavens not miles away. The military has begun to force us out of Chechnya and surrounding residencies. I now plan to meet with old friends I knew while in the military. They can get me up north and help me find my brother. As I shut my door behind, I notice a red glow over the hills in the distance. Perhaps it is a fire.
We're back, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, that's right, we're back. Jingle bells, of course. Now, I have to return you to Carl Phillips, who is with Mr. Dr. Pearson at the moment, and I believe they have found where the object has indeed touched down, near Grover's Mill. Now, if you know where that is, they are urging people to not congest the area due to traffic concerns and, of course, safety. So, now that is understandable. So please mind that. But here we go. Carl Phillips, to you.
We're back, ladies and gentlemen, at the crash site where the object has struck the ground. I must say, it's truly a sight to behold. I vastly underestimated what I thought I'd be seeing here tonight. To paint a picture for you, the listener, we're surrounded by crops, hundreds of yards of crops, which is bordered by a thick tree line on all sides. And as I look down on the sea of these crops, I can see a gap torn through the tree line, exposing nothing but sky. This gap must be at least 40 to 50 meters across, opening up to a scarred streak in the earth. This is where the object must have touched down to the earth and slid to a stop, thus tearing away anything in its path. We will rejoin you once we get closer.
Thank you, Mr. Phillips. And right now, we got nothing else to do but to play a little music. All right, everybody, ladies and gentlemen, I wonder what Mr. Phillips is up to over there on that farm. I wonder what he's seeing. I don't know, let's find out.
Hello, anybody? Are we on? Are we live? Yes, welcome back, everybody. We're standing directly over the object. As I look towards the distance, I can see cars starting to line up full of curious people. I'm sure the police are none too happy about that. Well, I can't help be taken by the size of this object. It's perhaps 30 or more meters in diameter. What would you say, Doctor?
Oh, yes, at least that much. And to remind you, we're not even sure how much has been buried under the ground.
Gosh, this carnage is amazing. All that I see beneath my feet are chips and splinters from where once stood large pine trees. They're now mowed down as if some sort of large wood chipper crossed the valley. Very large wood chipper at that, not to mention the pit that is carved into the earth by this object. One wrong move and you could slip in and fall maybe 30 or 40 feet.
I say I've never seen anything quite like this. It's smooth. Does it appear yellow to you, or is that just me?
Yes, sir, most definitely yellow and smooth. Isn't man-made? Has there anything like this happened before?
No, not that I can think of. Nothing has fallen from the skies quite like this. Something of this size and falling from space should have blown everything we see around us into oblivion. Must have been moving at a much slower pace than calculated.
I can see now the police are trying to keep the ever-growing crowd at bay. Perhaps I should talk to Mr. Wilmoth whilst I can before the crowd swarms like ants. Excuse me, sir. Sir, you own this land, is that right, sir?
Yeah, sorry. That'd be right, I own it.
I'm sorry, sir. Can you step closer to me and speak up, please? Thank you. Now, what happened?
Right, well, I just been in the back room dozing off, sort of half sleep-like. You know, when you just half there drifting.
Yes, sir.
Well, as I was saying, I've fallen asleep with the radio on and...
Right, sir, but what happened? You saw it?
No, sir, my radio made a huge pop sound, then it went dead. Woke me up, startled me.
Oh my, and then?
Then I heard a strange whirring sound coming from the outside, almost like a cross between a truck idling and an electric transformer or something. You know what I mean, but it was loud. I never heard something so loud.
Yes, and then what? Did you see it? Did you see it?
No, I never actually saw it land. I heard two loud thumps, almost like sharp thunder crack in succession, and then everything was dead quiet. No electric noise, no bird chirping, nothing. Just silence.
Were you scared?
Well, I sure wasn't calm. I looked outside my window and I saw a gap in the tree line and saw my house over there. So I come out and I saw this thing must have mowed down all these pine trees when it landed. It's a good 200 yards, sir.
Incredible story, sir. We'll be right back in a moment.
Alrighty then.
All right, thank you, Carl Phillips, Dr. Pearson, and Mr. Wilmoth. Now, I don't know what to make of this. My producer just handed me a piece of paper. And what do you know? 4 objects in the sky. Yes, that's right. Maybe this is some hysteria going on. A lot of crazy things happening. 4 objects in the sky have been seen going eastward. Yes, that's right. They were described as bright red and falling. Make of this what you will. Put on some music.
This series to be continued in part 2.